I began the Skyspace series in 1974 for Dr. Panza di Biumo of Italy, and he was the first one to be interested in that series of work. But in this series, I'm interested to actually take our light into outdoors. It's very difficult because our light is so insignificant compared to just the light of day. So that's why I've chosen twilight, the change of night to day and then day to night, in which to contrast our light with outside light. So the light of the sky in relationship to our light. And the big thing then was to have such something that's so strangely delicate and how to make that powerful. And one of the ways to do that is to isolate it so there's nothing else to look at. Part of that is just looking up. So in the sky space, that's why I have this whole dome or this above space that's completely involved in the light that we make. And this opening or where we then get involved with the light outside. Totus intus, totus forus, as Meister Eckhart would say. Or almost like the idea of Plato's cave, where the light taken in is somehow made into almost like an eye. So this is really a space that sees, and we're seeing how it sees, which of course is biased by how I've chosen. I've kind of made a very strange form of art, but there's a picture plane, and I then work the opacity or light actually closing it off over the top, and also this transparency through. And I vary that along with the colors as the light in the morning is advancing, or in the evening as the light is decreasing. So this is this form I made, which is a very odd form of art, but then there it is. It's how to work light in the outside. And so there is this inside to outside and the relation of the two that is how the color, the opacity, and the transparency is formed. And that's what it is. It's an odd thing that you would actually look at a hole in the roof for an hour. But the fact is that it does have that power when you isolate this light and make it the only thing that you really see. So I wanted to have this piece then changed by how the day changes, and that changes every day throughout the year because of our change from the winter solstice where the time is compressed to the summer solstice where it expands. And so it's changed by the season, it's changed by the latitude, and it's changed by the atmosphere. So I try to make a program that will take advantage of those changes. So often you can come back to the piece and think it's completely different than when you saw it before. Light has been about what we have used paint to depict for many years. This change was just going to it directly. So I don't have an interest in the source of light so much as I just have this idea of thinking about light, both light made from the sun, light made from that we make. And there is a certain truth in light, first of all, because light reveals the source of what is being burned and the temperature at which it's being burned. So that tells us exactly, if we analyze light, and this is what we do with starlight, we can tell exactly what a star is composed of by looking at its light. So it's our light in relationship to the light that's outside of us. But there never is no light. Even in meditation, you will find that there is light that comes to all of us, and everyone has this light inside. I often think of the light in the dream. If you think about the lucid dream, where you dream in color, and you ask yourself, where does this light come from? This is a very interesting question. People say, well, it's memory. Well, often we have the experience of deja vu where it's pre-memory, and where in some ways we are acting out that during the day, that which we have already experienced at night. But we see light in the dream differently than we do during the day. So I want to see light in the day with the eyes wide open, like the light that we see in the dream. And so that's one of my ideas of working with light. Sometimes I can achieve that, but like with any artist, some pieces really do that well and others not as well. But I've been getting better with that, and I'm feeling very good about how this piece depicts light. I'm very fond, especially of the morning program. But this is something that is from how I want to look at light, and has a lot to do with this spirit of light and the light that comes from us, our being, our thinking, which is of course a lesser light, but not insignificant in how we form the reality in which we live. I can make an experience for you. In Arizona, we have this night blooming cirrus. It only blooms one night of the year on a full moon night. And what happens is that the cacti starts to open, and then as soon as it finds the moon, it opens and tracks the moon. All the insects know that that's what's happening, and they're all there to do their part. And you can see this thing open and then literally follow the moon as it moves that night. And then it closes, and that's its life cycle of the flower. First of all, I want to say that the flower is for the plant, but we love these things. We love flowers, we love blooms, and it's an important part. It's like an artist making their art. It's their bloom, their expression. Cacti are very interesting because they do often very rarely, sometimes only once every 25 years. And you have this small plant that makes this gigantic bloom. But I can make an experience for you where you come to Arizona and I tell you the area to go to. You take a four-wheel drive vehicle, drive to this during the day and locate one of these plants, and then wait for that to happen. And it can be quite a wonderful experience. By the same time, or the same token, somebody could be in Mexico City. They could have a penthouse. In the penthouse, they have a greenhouse outside, and they have the same plants. And you could come there all well dressed for a party and have a margarita. The same event can happen, and that flower will attract the moon. Now it's the same object of perception, the same plant, but a very different experience. So if it is the experience that you want people to have, you have to form the things that help make that. So I have to exclude parts of the campus and of that life. This is a very urban piece. And try to form this experience so that the experience for you is passed on. And that's where the artfulness is involved. But remember, this is not my light. And in fact, this is not my experience, it's yours. And this is a piece owned by Monterey Technical University. So in the end, I leave it, and the people who are here will know more about it than I do. I will see it, I will have set it up, I will have begun it, but it becomes yours. So I'm very pleased to have this piece here. It took a lot of work by all the people that were here to construct it. It's amazing to see what's happened. I saw it 27 years ago here, and the change is amazing. There are little parts of that Monterey still extant, but that's all leaving because it's really become an amazing, modern, and vibrant city. And I'm happy to be a part of that.